Hello, hope you're doing well. Love you. God bless. I want to make this video about this sort of, a lot of people have talked about this before, but I don't know. First time I feel like most strongly about it, or now I feel the most strongly about it. In terms of entertainment and making stuff that you want to, and then and making people happy and like being honest and I try to just be myself and being as authentic as possible. There's this sort of thing where I think I know a lot of people who kind of you think of as type A or like outgoing or things, or people who are entertainers, or people who are kind of in the spotlight or bring a lot of attention to themselves, are actually not very social and don't really want to, I don't know, put out a lot of energy and emote and things like this. And I've been close with a lot of people like that who, when they're in public, they're far different than they are in person. And I think it's actually far smaller percentage of the population that is like really energized when they're around people and like they just feel like super happy about it, and they they actually get like more energy from being around people, or they naturally are kind of that way. I think people can kind of, I know you can change, and a lot of people are like, they want you to accept them for who they are, but most people would be incredibly boring to be around, and you wouldn't want to be their friend if they just were who they wanted to be all the time. If I really I would prefer to just not say anything almost always, and just have other people around talking to me and entertaining me and telling me stories and stuff like that. But that would be incredibly, who would want to hang out with me? Nobody would really care about me. It'd be like being in a relationship with a rock. So I've kind of learned to, put my emotions and myself out there and emote and things like this more and talk. And I think I'm very skilled at now talking unendingly, which I think can be very valuable skill to have. And some people might think of that as like that's not a skill, and they roll their eyes and whatnot. But for me, it's certainly what I would have to think hard in terms of trying to come up with something to say for a long period of my life, most of my life, I'd say. Now I don't really have any problem with it, but it's this sort of thing where I do want to speak with people and I want to be energetic, and it's fun, it can be things, but I do feel like drained afterwards, whereas allegedly other people don't. I don't know how truthful that is, and it might be, like I said, maybe it's just this tiny percentage of people. But yeah, I feel like I know that I can do a lot of things, and that I'm fairly skilled, and I'm not trying to like blow myself up here, but I just try to be as honest as I can, and I've had a lot of different jobs, a lot of different sort of career paths, but I haven't gone super deep in any of them, and it's because well, some of the things they were just circumstantial, but a lot of the times I would get bored after like 3 or 6 months or something, and um, the only thing I really keep coming back to is entertainment, and the thing that I most like to do. But that, I guess, sort of leads me back to the point of this video is it can be, it's not that bad. There's much bigger problems in the world. I'm fine, but uh, this sort of back and forth between what you want to do and what people kind of say they want you to do, and I realize that people get very upset when you sort of just present things as they were, as the truth, as facts, and tell it how you see it, if it's against how they perceive things to be, or if they're not very good at logically reasoning. And I put up some videos about me sort of someone had made a suggestion that I do reaction to a few things, and I went through them and I said my opinion, and I said mostly factual things, and I just back things up with logic, and people criticize me personally, and it's not that upsetting, but it is sort of like, well, I don't know, can I not do that anymore? Will people like turn off from watching? And I think the only thing that I can really do is just keep putting out stuff, and if people don't watch, then that's it. But I feel like it would be inauthentic to me, and I don't know if I could keep pursuing. I've tried to just go, okay, people don't like this, I'll do more of this, and so on and so forth. And I think that can be good as long as you enjoy both, but I think if you are kind of stifling your part of yourself that makes you happy to put out, that can cause you to be depressed or sad, and if that's not good. If the whose person you is a jerk, then that's different. But if you're if you want to do, if you're making certain types of movies and you want to do something else that's something different, but people don't really like it, I think you got to do that. You got to make those anyway, and don't have any expectation for it that people are going to like it or anything. Now, if you want to do music, drawing, painting, if you build cabinets and then you want to make chairs, and people don't really like your chairs but they like your cabinets, then I think you got to do it anyway. You got to just don't worry about what people are saying. And it's, again, I think it. Oh, my camera just like froze up for a second. It's one of these things that you may hear a million times over your life, is like, do what makes you happy, do what you want. But because if it's at all connected to two things, your sort of feeling of acceptance and belonging in the community, or just love overall, and then another thing is like financial or commerce type of consequences to what you're putting out. If both of those things you're getting back negative feedback on, it can be hard to keep going, but I think definitely for your mental health, you got to keep putting out stuff. And just accept that, you might not get as much. Now, in this case, and specifically with YouTube, unless I made like another channel for these sort of things, which is a possibility, it could negatively affect viewership is people get kind of sick of not constantly having um, sort of more entertainment-based videos of just kind of high energy and talking about fun stuff, which is great, you know. But nothing against that. I love that kind of thing, but yeah, I don't know. I was thinking of when I got to like 1,000 subscribers. If I did, then making a poll to seeing if people would prefer if I do more, you know, kind of just talking about myself and my feelings and the way that I see things and facts and stuff like that, as opposed to just entertainment type things, fun things. So I think I will still do that, and I don't know. Maybe I'll make another channel. We'll see. I'll have to think about it a bit. I'm not totally opposed to it, but anyway, I'll think about it. One thing that I really didn't like was that I put out a response to some things, and people kept kind of attacking me personally, and also telling me to react differently to the videos, and I mostly was saying this is not factually correct. This is the way things are. You have to consider this point too. And I think some of the videos were not entirely fair of both perspectives. And I think in no video that I put out was I like, this is the way things are. This is how it is, and I'm right and you're wrong. That's not how I am, and that's certainly not how I strive to be. And it just seems immature, and I realize that there's some people that it's just not worth talking to. They're just not worth, because they don't process things logically, and they will resort to personal attacks and they won't really listen to what you say. A lot of low IQ people, and I would never I certainly never try to make someone feel bad or attack someone's intelligence or anything, but I've wasted enough time talking with people who don't just respond logically exactly to what I say. You know, if somebody says, the grass is purple, and I go, well, I think grass is actually green, and they go, no, I've seen grass that was purple, and then they show you a picture of someone who painted grass purple, and you go, okay, yeah, I'm just saying, like, naturally, for the vast majority of grass, it's green. And they go, but there's purple grass right here. You're an idiot. You're so stupid. And you go, okay. And this is the kind of responses that I've heard so much of, these sort of just not really on topic this points, and people they're not really responding to an argument. They just want to disagree with you, and they want to hold on. Some of the people would take that sort of argument and go, no, a scientist said that this grass naturally grows purple, and like, even if you can see someone painting it purple, they go, no, a scientist told me. And it's like, well, no, but you can see here this person's painting it. And it's sort of the people who they're just so stuck in their way, they won't change their mind, and they don't really listen to the specific points. And that's the thing. Probably the thing that most bothers me is when I say a specific thing and people just say, your points are bad, you're not making sense, or you're too argumentative, or you don't get it. And I'm like, you didn't respond to any of the specific points that I said. You're just attacking me. You're saying that I'm bad at whatever, when all I did was analyze, and I just said, these are the facts, and these are some things that you didn't consider. And so yeah, I grew up with a lot of people like that, and so I've gone through enough of life to go, it's not worth it to argue with those kind of people or have a discussion. I don't even like using the term argue because I don't want to argue with anyone. I just want to have discussions. If somebody starts going in an argument, I will actually just stop talking too, because I'm not interested. I'm interested in getting to the truth. That's what I'm interested in, the truth. And people are much more interested in their point and you being wrong and them being right. Okay? I heard something, I don't know if this is true, this is what I heard, that people react the same way to when they hear facts that prove that their point of view is wrong. They react similarly to if they were in the water and they saw a shark. That's how the brain would react neurologically. And yeah, like I said, I don't know if that's true. That could just be one of those, facts that are just old wives' tales or whatever. But I certainly do see people like dig into their point more when they're proven to be just factually wrong. And I don't ever want to be like that. And I put out videos just trying to just say discussion and my point of things. And I try to not put emotion into it and be certainly not be rude at all. But people are so ready to fight and ready to argue with you and ready to tell you that what you're doing is wrong. So I don't know. It's just I realize that you have to say things out loud and kind of talk about your feelings, and I used to not do that for so long because of my family upbringing, which is a video for another day. But so this video is kind of just is helping me talk out these things, and I do think there are points to think of. I think if anybody were to look at, I'll mention a few videos that were pretty controversial. If anybody were to watch those and then I think I'm trying to think of the first one. I have like 3. But if anybody were to watch these and be upset with me, I think someone to go and listen to is Sam Harris, who I really love. I really, really love because in my opinion, he's the most similar to sort of the way my mind works. And so I feel a camaraderie with him. And I actually disagree with him on many points, but he tries to be very specific in terms of looking at just the facts of things, of what we can see logically and prove and is verifiably true. That's what I try to do in any time I'm analyzing something. So I mean, I know he can get a little frustrated, but he's very good at kind of staying calm in the face of people not really analyzing things logically and kind of digging into their points. And he's atheist, and I'm not. And I can understand. I know that people get real adamant in their point about things that they can't prove. And so I try to not be like that, and I try to show why I believe the way that I believe and things like this. So I try to not even respond to things that I see are illogical, and it's very easy to get caught up or get caught up in sort of this back and forth of that really will go nowhere, and it is not fruitful at all because some people are just, they will never be the kind of person to analyze things point by point, which is the only way I can really discuss something with someone, because to me that's the only way to get to the truth. I think yelling, name calling, just criticizing overall someone's argument is not helpful, because you're still not going to know exactly where the problem is. So yeah, Real fun and funny video. But yeah, I don't know if anybody watches this and can maybe give your opinion if you think it'd be better if I put videos like this on another channel. I think PewDiePie, I like what he does and that he keeps stuff like this on his main channel. He gets like far less views generally. But I don't know. Maybe it'll help someone. Maybe it's too damaging to the overall channel. But I do want to help people, and I do want people to feel well and better. I always want people to feel better. One criticism that I didn't love was I reacted to a comedy video, or a video from a comedian, and I didn't think it was funny. I'm all for criticizing me or my opinions or how I live or anything like that, but just have it be funny. If it's funny, like I used to have this really bad habit of taking a shower like right as my friends were coming to my house, as if we're gonna go somewhere. So I would like take way too much time, not get ready, and then trying to get ready when they got to my house or like right before they arrived. And so my friends would tease me about this and make jokes, and I thought it was funny because it was true, and I definitely had to change that behavior, and it was bad. And so I mean, there's a lot of things people, everybody gets joked about sometimes, and I'm all for it, especially if it's really funny, if it really makes me laugh. I watched this thing with Jim Jeffries, and I didn't think it was funny. It reminded me of this comedian. What's his name? I can picture him, Patrice O'Neill, and he said there's just a great quote by him. He said, "It's like you can't deny the truth." And I think comedy there's absurdist comedy, but a lot of it is based on truth, and I think that's why Dave Chappelle, even though he's getting so much like backlash, he's been able to withstand it because he's speaking the truth. And there's been stuff that from Dave Chappelle that I didn't like, and I thought that was bad. But if it's funny, if it makes me laugh, even if it's against things that I hold very dear, Jim Gaffigan does this joke about like Christians, and I don't. It's a hard thing because I don't want to say to people that I'm not a Christian because I don't like that the term seems to, people have a lot of a bad impression from the word Christian, and I understand that certainly. I've dealt with plenty of terrible people who treated me terribly that were Christian. But I also don't want to like just abandon the term. So I don't know, it's kind of a difficult thing. But anyway, talking about like jokes about kind of my beliefs and me that could be considered attacks, but I just thought it was really funny, so it made me laugh really hard. As Jim Gaffigan said, have you ever had someone come up to you and ask you or say to you, "I'd like to talk to you about Jesus"? And he goes, "Yeah, I'd like you not to." I thought that was so funny because it's just like, it's just a funny joke, it's just like kind of breaking this sort of uncomfortable thing, and where someone is trying to be like sweet and trying to help you, and they, in their belief, they think they may help you go to heaven, which is, I mean, the best thing that you could do someone, if that is the truth, right? And somebody just saying, "I'd like you not to." I guess it just like, it's kind of cutting this tension that in the church you would never say that because you want to be so pious and sort of like focus on the cause. So I guess that's where I find the humor in it. This Jim Jeffries thing about gun control, he was just making straw man arguments and saying like, this is the way people want guns just because they like them. which is just not true. Um, I'm smiling now because I think it's just like such a dumb premise, and maybe that's what he meant. But I know he had like a talk show for a while. I know his beliefs, and he really does believe that. And he goes on like the kind of talking goes on and on about supporting that point. And I just didn't think it was funny. I laugh because it's just so, or I smile. I'm not laughing, but like when I think about it, also I have this tendency to smile when people are like aggressive toward me, and I think I learned that it was my sister had the same thing. It was because our mother had been so aggressive with us that the only refuge that we had was comedy, and so people can get upset at that, and I understand, but it's hard to not do that when it's so ingrained in you. But anyway, um, yeah, someone criticized me for not just laughing and enjoying the thing, but I didn't think it was funny, so it's kind of hard to do so if it's just not funny. But I never really thought Jim Jeffries was funny. I've heard him say some funny things, um, but he's not. That's certainly not really a favorite comedian of mine. Probably my favorite stand-up was Norm Macdonald. I love Chris Farley. He's from my state. Um, I think everybody loves Chris Farley. And he's just one of these guys that just crazy funny guy. And sometimes I think maybe I'll just try to do that. But I do want to. I know that I need to talk because I'm kind of going back to the point I was making before. But I used to keep things so held and tight that I didn't know that talking about things actually makes you feel better. So I learned that, and then, well, through a long process, I am learning to talk out what I'm thinking, and I'm trying to not hold on to things. So anyway, yeah, I think Brian Regan is really hilarious. Jim Gaffigan, funny. His first two big specials, The Pale. No, what was it? I think it was whatever, where he talked about like hot pockets and like Christmas traditions. I think they're just absolutely hilarious. And camping. Who else? Zach Galifianakis. Love Zach Galifianakis. The Live at the Purple Onion is one of my favorite just videos of all time, let alone sort of stand-up specials. So I think, in my opinion, Jim Jeffries, he kind of does more of a Seinfeld-y type of very broad humor of kind of, this isn't how things are this way! Ha ha ha! And I'm not trying to be rude at all, and that I'm perfectly happy if people like his humor and his comedy. And like I said, there's some stuff that I've heard him say that I thought was funny. But I don't know. I guess I like things that are a little bit more complex. Again, I'm not trying to praise myself. It's just more nuanced comedy, and a lot of people just don't get, why something like Seth Galifianakis is funny, which is like a character that Zach Galifianakis does. I mean, that's not even that complex, but still, anyway. So, yeah, we'll see how this video is received. If anyone watches it. But I guess it's good to build up even though I know what the truth is and things, I'm still working on when is good to respond to people and when is not to, and when to just let things go. And most of the time, letting things go is the best option, because the people who are worth responding to, they'll be nice. At least they'll at least be very nice, and and they will try to focus on the points. So yeah, just hit the 30 mark. It's a 30-minute mark, so maybe that's a good place. And I really feel better speaking about these things, and hope someone will get something from this video. But thank you very much for watching. Love you. God bless, and feel free to like and or comment and or subscribe if you want. But really appreciate any suggestions for videos, and yeah, hopefully I can help people and make them their day happier and feel loved and be better and go to heaven. So have a good one. Thanks for watching.